Which slide is it?
Pick one.
It's tricky to figure it out. It's what you do.
Alright class, how's it going today?
Yeah.
Y'all pretty good? Tired from lunch?
Good.
Not really? Alright. Well,
Our math test was really hard.
we're in fundamentals of technology today, so you're not going to have to worry about math right now.
But while we were taking the test, Mr. Richardson bent down to pick up his kid.
We're not going to talk about Mr. Richardson, Jimmy. Leave that outside the class,
He was
alright?
looking up Sarah's.
Jimmy? Jimmy, I'm going to need to talk to you after class. Alright. So, who remembers what we did a couple days ago when we started the unit on principles and elements of design? Who can tell me if they remember any of the principles and elements? Anybody? Rhythm? Alright. So, the first one, any more rhythm?
Unity.
Unity?
Harmony.
Harmony? There you go. Balance, proportion, contrast, variety, harmony, unity, rhythm. So, what about the elements of design?
Line.
Shape.
Shape,
So
line,
shape.
any more?
Section.
Texture, color, space, form. So you guys remember those a little bit, especially from the activity we did yesterday, so you guys are learning how to incorporate all that. What's the next lesson? The next lesson we talked about in the next class? I gave you a hint.
Engineering design class?
Alright, and we started using that yesterday in designing our graphics, didn't we? So I asked you all the question, and you started to imagine and plan what your graphic was going to be. Today we're going to learn how to create. So what I want you all to do right now is to put everything away. I'm going to run through this program called Adobe Illustrator. Did you all use it before?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Alright. So you're a little bit familiar, but a couple people aren't, so I want you guys to hold back a little bit. I'm going to run through this demonstration and show you guys how to use the stuff that we learned how to do yesterday, alright? The reason I gave you the circles, lines, triangles, squares, stuff like that, is that it's simple and easy. I gave you a color requirement because it's simple and easy. Like I said in the beginning of the lesson, or this unit, you could spend an entire semester on just this stuff right here. We're going to cover it very briefly, but it's going to be fun. So I need all you to look up here, pay attention, make sure you focus, because I don't want to repeat it, alright? So, the first thing we're going to do when you guys open up Adobe Illustrator is just going to pop up a little block, ask you how to set stuff up. We're going to have one artboard, which is where you actually are going to draw, and we're going to have 8.5 by 11, which is a standard size sheet of paper, right? You're going to hit OK, and then it'll pop up like this. Now this is your sheet of paper, and just so I can help you guys see a little bit better, I'm going to go to show grid. So it shows a little grid on top. Can everyone see? Everyone can see? Alright. So, what's that doing?
Where did you get that?
Get what?
The grid.
The grid? I went to view, and scroll all the way down and hit grid. Right now it says hide. If I were to hide it, it would go away. Alright? Now, the first thing that you all had on your sheet of paper that we designed was a big black square to give the edge of the paper, right? So if I click this square button right here, everyone saw what that was? The square button? You get a little crosshairs. And if you lay it down on the corner of the sheet of paper and drag it to the other corner like this, everyone see? You let it go. Now what happens is you don't see the grid in the middle anymore, do you? It disappeared. That's because this right here, the solid color, the white, shows you the fill color. And then this border color is the border. So if I were to click this and hit that red diagonal line, it'll get rid of the fill color. Now this big black line is the border, and I want it to stay black. So I click black on the color palette. This is where the color palette's at. And I'm going to go over here to the stroke. This is where you can change thickness. So if I wanted a 16-point font, boom, you get a really big black border, don't you? What if I wanted a 100-point border? Who thinks this window's going to happen? It's going to get bigger. That's really big border, isn't it? So, we're going to go back down here for a little bit to 10 point.
That's like that.
It's like what?
Really big.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey guys, hey, calm down. Jimmy, that was inappropriate. Jimmy. Can I see out of class? So, this is also how you make a square. Everyone saw that? You take the square button, you did the border, but it's also a square. If I wanted to make another square, like this, it would have the same settings as before. What if I wanted to change the border to blue, click somewhere here in the blue, and I wanted to fill it in with red. Fill it in with red. So that's the basics of how to make a square. Now, if you want to do a different shape, this square button is a little hidden. If you click it and hold it, you're going to get a whole bunch of different shapes. Everyone sees those? Yeah? Alright. Let's say we're gonna do an ellipse, which ellipse is the same thing as a circle, but you can make it oblong if you wanted to. So if I start here on this grid, which is our preset square, I can drag it to the corner and kind of get a circle-looking shape. Now, circle, yes, that's a circle. What's
How
up?
can you make a perfect circle?
How do you make a perfect circle?
That'd be probably like me.
No, it's not shift or control.
Shift is if you want to standard like resize everything the same proportion. As far as making a perfect circle, actually I'm not sure. I think it's just an eyeball thing, but I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just haven't.
If you press shift while you're doing that, it'll not do it.
Did you ask a question?
Oh, look at that. Woo. There's your perfect circle. So if you hold shift, get rid of those. If you hold shift while you make your circle, then, or a square of any shape, then it'll keep it the same size. Like that. Now, for this one, I want, who knows what color they want for the border?
Green.
Yellow, purple.
Green? Alright, I heard you get green first, so I'll say green, and then we'll fill it in with, oh, wrong one. Fill it in with green, and we'll make a yellow. What am I doing? There we go.
Yellow board.
Alright, now, everyone sees over here, these are your tools. Right now we've just been using the shape tools, right? There's this black arrow. If you click it, it'll let you move the entire shape. Like this. I can move that over here, I can move it over there. I can move this entire square. There's a white arrow that if you click it, it'll let you move certain parts of a shape. See that? Alright? Everyone see how I did that? So there's a black arrow and then a white arrow. And then there's also this command called root. Now
How do
say,
you see back to the square?
huh?
How do you see back to the square?
That is an undo command. Usually there's a toolbar up here. I'm not sure where it went, but there's a keyboard shortcut that I use, and it's. Everyone knows the Mac symbol? Yes, no, maybe. The Apple command. This little symbol on a Mac, what the software is on, is called the command key or the Apple key. If you press this, and then you hit the Z button, that's the undo. And then if you all wanted to do the standard resize, there's the shift button right here. And then you hit the arrow. That, right? And that'll let you do a standard resize. So if I wanted to put these two together, then I could highlight them, start in the bottom right, drag to the top left. Everyone paying attention? You select everything, go to Object, and Group, and now these two items are the same thing. So I can move them around, they're going to stay in the same location to each other, alright? You can also do the same thing with lines. So, come over here and you can make shapes with lines, you can make your triangle that you all incorporated into your design. And the same thing happens where you can adjust the fill color and the size and the thickness. You can also adjust the type of line. So if you go up here, you can adjust the stroke. You can turn it into something really neat and cool. So, I want to give you all as much time as possible to go ahead and start working on this. I was going to ask you all to come up here and try it a little bit, but because I want to give you each enough time to work on your own graphic today, I want to make sure that y'all get to it. So, just to recap really quick, how do you make a line? What button do you click? The arrow? Or a line?
Yeah.
Or, so right here, is how you make a line?
Lower.
Lower?
There you go.
Oh, so that's a line.
There's a glare.
Oh, I'm sorry, the text is a little weird. What about how you change the color? Who can tell me how you change the color?
The fill.
The fill thing over here? So what, just change the color of the border or the fill? This one? The border? What about this one?
Fill.
Fill. Awesome. What about how you ungroup and group objects? Who remembers how to group an object together? Control C?
Control Z.
Alright, so the control keys are like undo and copy and cut. If you guys come here to object and go to group, that's how you group and ungroup, alright? And then, who can tell me where the color palette's at? Middle,
Right side.
right side, right here, top right-ish. Alright. And then, which arrow do you use to move the entire object?
Black.
black arrow. All right. So go ahead. You guys can start booting up your programs. Go ahead and get started. You guys can start working on your design today. Need you all to focus though, because we've got a couple days to do this before Thanksgiving. Ready? You all right back there?
Fine.
All right. So we'll go ahead and let you guys get started, but remember that these are due right after we get back from Thanksgiving. So you have until now, until Thanksgiving to do everything. And these are the basic functions. I'll give a little more pointer, give a couple more pointers as you guys are working. We'll go ahead and get started and try and recreate your design graphic. All right? Class.
Okay.